Welcome to another Vaesen tale, and actually, I was listening to or watching an interview with like one of the head guys of Free League Publishing. He pronounced it Vaesen, which when I looked it up to see what is the Swedish pronunciation, it said Vaesen. He's Swedish, he said I'm confused. I'm not sure what to call it now. I'm just going to continue with Vaesen until someone calls me out and says that is wrong.
Well, I'd have to leave a comment first.
This is true.
I thought it was Green Ronin for years, even though I know what Ronin is.
It is.
Somebody told, is it Ronin?
Yes.
Nobody says that.
I know, but yes, Chris Primus on numerous occasions has had to correct people like, no. It's Green Ronin.
Okay. So I do know how to say it right.
Good job.
And it's Van Gogh, not Van Gogh. Caught you up. Now, those are your points.
But we're back for another Vaesen, another tale. This one is going to harken back to that the owls are not what they seem. So as we begin, it is early morning. It is crisp October morning. The two of you are out in what will eventually again be the gardens of Castle Gildenkreutz. You, I assume, are sitting, reclining in a chair, journaling about the latest things you discovered.
My cup of tea, my morning tea blend.
You were looking at various trees when suddenly you heard no one approach. No doors shutting, no footsteps, and yet right behind you, message for you, Mom. Leaves are curling, going to rain today.
Is that the message?
It is not.
Okay.
That was just the forecast.
Ooh.
What did you do with yourself last evening, Mr. Frisk?
I slept
Well,
well enough.
have any? You've been in our employ for a little while now, and yet it seems like I know so little of you. What particular hobbies keep you fascinated?
I have no hobby, sir. My hobby is this castle and its upkeep, which would be made far easier if we had more staff, if you'll excuse me.
Mr. Algert, he's committed to this ramshackle old castle.
Yes,
What do you got there?
Oh, it's a note that
Oh.
I destroyed. The Dance of Dreams, a shadow play of horror, murder, and revenge. Let yourself be enraptured and terrified by the Shadow Theater with clockwork as amazing as that of the Master's construction. Thank you. Of the Master's construction on the continent. Watch as evil smiles, good people go to their doom, and spirits come to life. Follow Oscar Hjort's encounter with the Black One, his struggle, and finally the betrayal which claimed his life. Hear the tunes of the enchanted flute that sends souls dancing to hell. The show will premiere shortly at the Witch Cat Inn, not for the faint of heart. And then scrawled underneath is meet me tonight at the Witch Cat Inn at 10.
Oh.
Or one of those.
Actually, it's signed Olas.
Olas.
Yes. No. Sounds, no.
Well, that sounds fun.
No, it does not. There's nothing that sounds fun about that all, Miss Lundstrom. Nothing. Devils and death and murder, revenge.
No, we must go.
No, that's what's great about being retired, being financially well off. We don't have to do those things. This sounds like the sort of thing that we deal with.
This sounds like the sort of thing that I love.
She says that as you glance over and you see the hay bale target that has been made and the crossbow leaning up against a tree, and you recall how it was had to be used last time.
Very well.
It's a shadow play of horror, murder, and revenge.
Sure. There's nothing more exciting than a shadow play. Of murder and revenge.
Horror, murder.
Yes, I'm trying to avoid that point, Miss Lundstrom. Trying to avoid that part.
That's the best part.
Alrighty. Well, if we don't go out and be seen in public, the tongues will never quit wagging. So, if this is what you desire, my old bones are up for it. Should see about conveyance for this. It sounds like it's getting started pretty.
It just says tonight.
Oh,
that was
tonight.
Olaf's. It was a signature. It looked like.
I understand.
Shall I arrange for a coach?
Oh, Mr. Algett, that would be splendid. Thank you so very much. We should add that. Maybe a stable boy, horses, a carriage. Wouldn't that be useful?
It would indeed.
We'll work upon it.
Very good.
How do you know Olas?
I don't.
Oh, how does Olas know us then?
That sounds like
Vaguely
something to look up in the
gesture
library.
Dun dun
The
dun!
castle.
I use my cane to help get myself up out of my chair and.
So do you like full on Yoda it?
Oh, yeah.
And like,
Oh no, not that bad.
and then when like shit hits the fan, you're like, ah!
Yeah, he's not quite doing the just the flip around cane thing as he walks where it's up and down, but he's also not like somewhere
Somewhere in between. Got it.
it looks realistic enough to anybody from the outside that it would look like he uses this regularly.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, what time did you say it was right now?
It's around 9 in the morning.
So early.
So, do you want to maybe see what we can find out about the inn? And
Yes, that would be excellent. We did spend all that time, energy, and effort to put together a small library. It seems like we should visit it and see if
does
Olaf.
Oscar Hjort ring a bell?
Not offhand.
Okay.
Not yet, anyway.
Dun, dun, dun.
So you head to your library then?
Yes. What's it called? The Annals, is it?
Well, I mean, that is just a single tome.
Oh, okay.
You have an entire library, which I'm assuming is not just books, but especially with you being there, is now including newspapers from all over. Plenty
My
of things
writings.
to peruse and research with. Algett brings in cookies and coffee. So you have your fika. And the two of you dig in. Quickly discover the Witch Cat Inn is mentioned in some of the journals. It apparently is at a crossroads north of Sigtuna. Sigtuna is a village that had its heyday about 300 years ago. When the society was rebuilt after the Great Ulu Fire at the end of the 18th century, the inn was used as a gathering place. The innkeeper at the time, Piri Haljula, was a Thursday's child like yourselves. And you ask about Oscar Hjort.
Mm-hmm.
The list of society members mentions one Oscar Hjort, who lived in the late 18th century. He worked as a writer, spent some time in Paris studying under Francois Dominique Serafin. He was a famous artist who put on shadow plays for the court at Versailles and the Palais Royal. And if you were unfamiliar with shadow theater, that originated in India and China, where it was practiced for several centuries before Christ. It's basically cut out paper figures that are held up to a source of light, which creates shadows on a cloth screen. A skilled puppeteer can manipulate those puppets and the light so that the figures appear to be alive. The art form came to Italy in the 18th century and continued to spread across Europe. Artists in England and France have experimented with clockworks to create automated shadow theaters. And lastly, from those same newspapers I mentioned, I assumed you would probably have on hand, there's nothing officially that the society has on anyone named Olaus, which, by the way, you see the seal. The seal is actually a K, mainly because I could not find, there was no way to get one that said Clint made before the game. So actually, instead of just the K, it is KLINT. And you find a number of mentions of one Olaus Clint, who is apparently a private detective here in Uppsala.
Can I make a learning roll to know more about Olaus, his particular occupation crosses over with mine quite a bit, it seems.
Sure. Make that roll.
Woohoo!
We'll see if your dice treat you better than last time.
Probably not. One!
One is all you really need.
Oh, well.
It would seem he specializes in oddities, the strange, very much like the two of you.
Do you tell me?
Yes. So my knowing of Mr. Olaus's engagement is he's a private investigator about the city we currently call home, and he specializes, his specialty borders that of which we find ourselves engaged with most often. Oddities, strangeness. He should not be surprised by anything that we can mention, so.
Do you think he'd want to join our community?
Oh, I don't know that that's necessary, but I like the close-knit nature of it as it is, without the prying eyes of a private investigator. But that's something that can be discussed in the future.
It takes you a few hours to accumulate all that information. Is there anything else, any equipment you wish to procure prior to your coach journey?
We think we're just going into town from our house to a play. Correct?
It is not in Uppsala.
Oh, how far is this?
It's about 3 to 4 hour by coach.
Oh, all right. Well,
So we got to go now.
we're gonna be staying overnight. Let's check out some equipment.
How do bolts for the crossbow work?
What do you mean?
Like
Keeping track of
making sure,
ammunition?
yeah, well, making sure that we have enough, like a extra bit.
It is assumed you have enough with you. If it comes into play, and I want it to be a more survival horror kind of element, then I may tell you you've only got this many left.
Okay.
Then you'll keep track. But otherwise, it's assumed you've got plenty.
Okay. I just didn't know if we needed to like purchase more before our. Okay.
I'm assuming you've been practicing with it, so you probably got enough.
All right. So we've been invited out of town. We're going to be staying overnight. We also know there's a shadow play. So, and it mentions
And horror,
horror.
murder.
Yes. But it specifically
important
mentions, hear the tunes of the enchanted flute that sends souls dancing to hell. So,
Oh yeah.
Some
Can't
kind of-
forget that part either.
some kind of earplugs or something of that nature I would like to see about trying to acquire.
Do we want to roll and see how much we have to work with, or
Isn't that a set number?
No, whatever your resources number is, you roll that many dice, and then that tells you how much you got to pull from it.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
All right.
because we get the
All right.
it was a
Then
3.
you've got your capital, which is what you can pull upon just for automatic successes.
Got you. All right. So,
And again, where you're going, your capital's probably not going to necessarily come into play.
I have 5.
I also have 5, but I don't think we had it together.
No, she would roll and you would roll.
Okay.
And then if you want to combine your successes to get one big thing, you can.
So
Gotcha.
I got 2.
Well, I'm going to add nothing to that.
All right, so we got 2.
Okay. But we can pull from our resources, which
Here,
is
but not there.
which is equal
No,
to.
I mean, if you don't use all of your capital right now, then you'll have it to use there. But if you want to use it all right now for whatever, then it
Okay.
would not be available.
Well, there you go. See if you come up with anything. I'm gonna pack my overnight bag and extra suit of clothes, my flask, some ink,
Are you going to get
my
bandages again, just in case?
Well, I mean, those cost, so I don't know.
They're 1
Yes,
bandages.
we only have 2.
Yeah, or medical equipment is 2.
So definitely probably want to use our resources for some of that. Now, what's our resource number?
2, because that's all we rolled. You rolled 0.
Well,
I
that's
rolled 2.
no, that's like that part.
You're
But
talking
then
about capital.
capital, yes.
I believe each of you have 3.
Now, does that go up and down, or is that always at the start of each adventure you've got 3 capital? All right, so we have 3 capital. So altogether, we've got 8 altogether if we want to use it.
Medical equipment is 2,
Okay.
or simple bandages is 1.
Well, I do not do medical stuff, so that.
I do.
So you tell me what's going to help you the
Well, let's
best.
just do the bandages,
Okay.
and then I don't see any like ear equipment. But
Gotcha.
Maybe he can.
Earplugs used to be a matter of either cloth or candle wax put in your ears.
All right.
Besides, are you not a music lover? Come on.
No.
Huh.
No, I'm not. And I despise the violin.
Oh, wow.
It's a
Wait till
horrific instrument that sounds
you're
like
going to hate what
many cats have died to
comes up down the
create.
road a ways.
So
I think I'm good.
what's this fall under? What's stealth? It takes
I don't have any of that.
2 to do.
Well, it costs 2, and it gives you a bonus of +1.
Oh well, I mean, we might need these. The opera glasses for tonight's show could come in handy.
Tinderbox.
We're gonna pick up some lock picks.
Good idea.
Costs
I believe
one.
I asked you if you had those
Or no,
last time. You
Costs
did not.
2. So there's 3 of our.
Do you want to hold those?
Sure.
So we use 3.
So basically, her 2 points.
No, I
were-
had 1, and he has 2. Lockpicks cost 2.
Yeah, no. I mean, you rolled 2 successes.
Yes.
Yes.
So the bandages came. You're putting forward the money for that, and then 2 of you going in together for the lockpicks
Yes.
Yes.
because he knows a guy.
I do know a guy.
I'm good.
Okay.
Unless you think the tinderbox is going to be.
No, I mean, I think we have matches.
Okay.
So the services. Well, the services would be What we'd use over there. Why would that be a 3? Holy shit, that's very high. We already have those. Yep, I think that's kind of convinced for the shopping. Some bandages and some lockpicks today.
Once you have everything packed up and ready to go, late afternoon, the coach is ready to take you, and as Algot said this morning, sure enough, the dark clouds are rolling in. You hear the thunder, and in the distance you can see displays of lightning. Just so happens you're headed south, and that would appear to be where the largest concentration of storm clouds is.
Of course it is.
I got a crossbow. We're good.
You gonna fight the weather?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I locate Poe. I scratch him behind his ears. I tell him to be a good boy. He'll be gone for a little while.
You say that, and you don't see him, but you hear a disgruntled sigh from Algot.
Make sure you keep an eye on him. He's had the sniffles lately. A little worried about him.
Of course, sir.
He means the world to me.
Mm-hmm. With a crack of a whip, the coach driver sends you off on your way, headed south. As I said, it is October. Trees are starting to turn, and all too quickly, the sky is black, partially due to the hour, but more so due to just thick, dark storm clouds. So it gets to a certain point after a couple of hours where it's pitch black when you look out the coach windows, and then suddenly everything goes bright and you can see everything due to a lightning strike. Sometimes you're seeing pine trees off to your left. There's a lightning strike and a crack because lightning is hitting these trees, so it makes you hope that the coach doesn't get struck.
Yes.
And throughout it all, you hear the crack of the whip as the driver keeps you going. Lightning lancing across the sky. At a certain point, you can see Lake Malar on to your west. Its foaming waves striking the shoreline. And then eventually, about 3.5, almost 4 hours time in the coach, you see a structure and you look out. The road hits a T-junction, and that is the only structure there. And the sign denotes it as the Witch Cat Inn. Coachman very quickly in this downpour hops out, opens the door for you, pulls your belongings off of the coach, places them on the ground, bids you farewell, and immediately continues on his way to the next village. And as you're standing there, cold, being rained on, you notice this, you have your main structure, there's a fence around it. Next to it is the stables, and at the stables, under the overhang, you can see a cigarette flare to life, and a man stepped forward. He's got a bowler hat on, glasses, mustache, well-trimmed beard.
I hope
Glad you
there's
could make
something
it.
besides this shadow play that you invited us out to see, Mr. Olas. 4 hours in a cramped cabin for shadow puppets.
There's more.
I'm sure there is.
Rumor about that this place is cursed. Shall we go in?
Let's.
I love entering cursed places. Miss Lundstrom, please. Horror awaits.
I should tell you, the reason I called you. I was here a few nights back. There's something here. I could feel it. Something powerful. And since everyone in Uppsala apparently knows about you two, I thought I would call you up. He opens the door and gestures for you to walk in. And it's a great feeling because unlike out here in the cold and the dark, there are lanterns and candles inside of here. There's a fire roaring in the fireplace. There are a handful of people here, all of which pause and turn toward the door as you walk in. He closes the door behind you and is shaking off some of the rain.
I as well.
You see directly to your left, as soon as you walk in, there is a bar. There's a curtained area behind that, which you can smell food coming from. Actually, you can hear something sizzling. The man, short, fairly wide individual. You're guessing he's 40s, 50s maybe. Big white beard, bald head. He had just called back, "I need more mutton!" And he turns around. "Welcome to the Witch Cat Inn. What do you be needing? I need a room."
2 preferably.
2 rooms it is. Yes, you happen to be in luck. That's all we got left.
That's a perfect number then. Our lucky evening.
He takes 2 keys and slaps them down on the bar. Takes payment. If you want to head up, drop your things off, come back down. Get you fed and watered, eh?
Thank you, good sir.
You can see, aside from yourselves and Olaus, you have this guy. That curtain, you can hear a voice. "Ah, burn myself again!" From back there. There's a female sitting by herself at a table. What looks obviously to be a priest due to the collar and the dress. A guy who looks to be fairly deep into his cups, given the number of them on the table before him. And then you see a tall, slender waiter and also a teenage female, you're guessing maybe 16 or so, who also seems to be helping out around the place. Are you guys gonna, you see the stairs further in, and again on your left.
Are the stairs open? Will we be able to see down into this room from the stairwell?
Only if you're at the top looking straight down. There's no like balcony or anything.
Okay.
Are you taking your stuff up to your room?
Yes.
Okay. Second floor. Once you get up, you've got 5 rooms along what would be the front of the building. Looks to be 2 more on the opposite side and 1 large room in the back corner. Put your things away. Take off your overcoats. Head back down.
I'm gonna stop at the area you said we could look immediately down and observe for a few minutes. Take in the priest, the woman who is by herself, the man in his cups, the cast of characters that we see before us.
Kind of like looking down these steps. All you're really going to see is directly what's at the bottom.
And when we go down, I will place myself in a position to observe those people for a little while to see if anything seems odd or unusual.
We'll get a corner booth.
Okay. Olaus will join you. Give me a stealth roll.
Both of us, or just
him?
I get that, and that is based on that, and that gets me that one and that one. Surely. Boom! Nothing.
Even that light flashing die did nothing?
That was a 2.
That's his worst one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
So you're standing there and you notice the woman who's sitting by herself sees you there. And instead of just glancing up and going back to her drink or her meal or what have you, see her eyes darting to you repeatedly.
Do I recognize her?
You do not. And she starts looking around. You can see she's sweating a bit. Or is that rain? Who knows? You and Olaus get a corner booth. Quickly, the girl comes up to you. What would you have to drink then? We got aquativa and we got some beer.
I'll just take beer.
Same. Very good. She rushes off. The guy, who seemed rather deep in his cups, turns around. Hey, where are you two from? Olaus tips his hat to you.
Did we travel north or south?
You came south.
We came from the south?
You came from the north.
Okay. From the north?
North. Uppsala then.
Where are you from?
Where am I from? From here. Ain't that right, Sammy? And the guy behind the bar. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's right, Johnny. That's right.
I will head over to the corner table.
Okay. Again, that woman's eyes are following you.
Miss Lundstrom, Mr. Olaus, the young lady by herself over near the center table there seems quite uncomfortable.
I will try to slyly look in that direction.
Give me an observation roll.
Go get him.
Nope.
Wow.
You're assuming it's just rain. Could be sweat, but she does seem to just be looking all over, not really focused on anything.
Does she look familiar to me at all?
No.
Mr. Olaus, do you know that woman?
I do not. Probably a good thing.
What strange and unusual activity made you decide to contact us and bring us here?
As I said, I stayed here a few nights back. He glances at both of you, gives you a hard look.
I don't waver.
Neither do I.
Let's put all the cards on the table, shall we?
It's a card game, it is.
I can only assume, given that you were staying at Castle Gillenkreutz, the rumors are true that you're bringing back the society. Assuming, of course, that's true. That would mean you got a sense for things that are a bit out of the realm of the normal. That's what I felt when I was here a few nights back.
You felt something or you saw something?
Felt it, but I also know travelers that stay here all complain of nightmares.
Is it after watching the shadow play?
No, but an invitation I sent you, is all over Uppsala. So if there is something here, and it starts drawing people in, could be bad news.
I understand.
But what I felt was strong. Don't get me wrong, I'm used to handling my own, but this... I got the feeling this is going to be a bit more than just one man like myself could handle. So of course I called the experts.
You said that travelers here, they all complain of nightmares. So, did you have a nightmare?
Yeah. For what little I slept, I was trying to see what I could see, as it were, which I didn't see much. But yeah, not much sleep that night.
What did your nightmare consist of?
Just a dark figure watching me in the corner of the room. And I could not move.
Which room was that in?
Actually, it's the one you're in.
Lovely.
Did you happen to search that room in the morning?
Yeah, nothing.
Okay.
The priest has gotten up from his seat and has come over. Excuse me, may I?
I stand up and please,
Thank you.
Father,
Niels Klarhard.
I am Mr. Renberg, and this is my associate, Miss Lundstrom.
Pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you. So what might bring you here?
It was a coach.
Haha, of course it was. You headed to Sigtuna or Tura?
Oh, we have some time before we are required anywhere, so we are merely out and about seeing some of the small sights that this beautiful country has to offer. And when we heard of a place called the Witch Cat Inn, Miss Lundstrom's imagination was fired.
Of course. Well, when you find yourselves needing the Lord, just a bit further south, you probably saw the steeple. It'll be church. That'd be mine. You're more than welcome.
It's your church.
I'm the pastor there.
Oh, that makes more sense. Thought those belonged to the realm of God.
Well, of course. I'm but its caretaker. But those of Sigtuna and Artura, that's their place of worship. And all are welcome.
How long have you maintained this particular piece of God's land?
Going on 6 years, yeah.
What's your congregation like?
Sigtuna, well, looking around, these small villages, they are what they are. I just do what I can to provide spiritual comfort and solace, guidance when they need it. But thus far, at least, industrialization, as it were, its fair hand has not touched Sigtuna or Hatura.
So you're still pristine.
Yes. Sigtuna is not... I don't believe it's changed in over 300 years.
Well, there's something to be said for that.
You hear the man behind the bar,
Sammy?
Sammy, yell, "Order up!" And you see the girl, which the father gestures to her. Father and daughter, if you didn't know.
Oh.
The girl grabs a plate that has 2 beers, brings it over to your table, sets them down, and she looks at you. "Sir, what would you be drinking, sir?"
What's your wine selection like?
We've got Activo. I'm afraid we don't have wine. The
When in
father's
Rome,
kind
go
of
beer.
chuckling.
One of these.
Beer. Father? She grabs the tray, rushes back. You hear the cook. I burnt myself again!
He does seem to leave himself upon his grill.
And looks as though the one called Johnny, the one who's obviously drunk,
Yep.
is attempting to convince the waiter, the skinny kid, to arm wrestle. And the kid's like, I can't, I got work to do. Work. Put it on there, come on, man! Later. Olas is now tipped his hat down to cover his eyes and is leaning back in his seat,
This
watching all this.
Definitely the thing of nightmares. Plus, when do those activities kick in? Midnight, 3:30.
He turns his head to you, and then the father looks at you. Activities?
What passes for entertainment in this particular inn? Is there a singer? Is there a musician? Is there soliloquy? Do we take turns telling a story?
Poems.
Poems. I suppose it's a psalm count, Father. Is it a poem?
I've been a guest here many a night. There's not much other than camaraderie,
Oh, well.
which I'm always pleased to meet new people. I'm sorry. I didn't get your names.
I am Mr. Rinberg, and this is Miss Lundstrom, and this is our friend Olas.
See, he looks to Olas.
From Uppsala.
Oh,
They said, traveling about, seeing the country. Leaves are beginning to turn, you know. It's leaf peeping time.
you're suddenly mid-sentence. Cold rainwater drips right on your face. And you're starting to now, you didn't really take it in initially, but now you're seeing a number of buckets in different areas catching drips. And now, when you first arrived, coming from the cold and the rain,
Sure.
just getting in a warm place that had some light and fire, was great. But now you're starting to realize that this inn has definitely seen better days. You're seeing rotted wood, a lot of leaks.
In our history, when we looked it up, the Witch Cat Inn was featured in our histories of past events. What was the end of the transcription about this place?
Primarily just that it was used as a meeting point after the fires, as there was no structure to go to, so this was where they would come to meet as a society. And then periodically they'd still frequent it, but after a new structure was built, it seems as though there was no real point in coming here unless you were traveling.
Gosh, so it didn't burn to the ground. This isn't a ghost inn of some sort. Okay. All right. And what was the other thing that was built? Is it relevant? That seemed to take the focal point off of this particular building?
The castle.
Oh, okay. Our castle? 4 hours away? Oh. So this is the old stomping grounds of...
As I told you,
Of the
I think
society.
episode 1, the society has been all over.
Sure.
And the castle was not the original headquarters.
Okay.
It was elsewhere.
So then with that in mind, I'd like to take further observation to see if there's any sigils, runes, other telltale signs of the society's presence here in the past.
Give me an observation roll.
Thursday Caught.
Actually, you know what? Give me a vigilance roll.
Vigilance. I'm going to grab these 2 dice, and then I'm going to follow them up with you, and you, and you. And surely, have we had a single success tonight?
Yeah, I got 2 on research.
On the resource, okay. So before the game really began. So I think that's enough? I mean, maybe not shaking it right?
Do we need to get you a Yahtzee cup?
There is not a single success.
We need to get you a Yahtzee
1,
cup.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dice. Not a single success.
I think it's because you're wasting their juice.
Is it? All right.
Something like that.
Here, just,
You're not seeing anything.
yeah, you're right.
But
It's starting to become a little disheartening. I'm not going to lie.
you're not certain if it's your own imagination,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be a matter of hope or anticipation, but it seems as though the corners of this room have grown darker since you first entered.
That is mysterious. Excellent. All right.
The girl brings your beer to you. Oh,
So is this your father that owns this establishment?
yes.
How long has your family been the owners of the Witch Cat Inn? I hear it's got rather historical significance in this area.
Oh, it's been in the family for generations.
Oh. And who is the eldest member currently?
She points
Your father?
at Sammy. That'd be my dad.
Okay, I didn't know if there might be a grandfather or grandmother, someone of that nature.
Not anymore. No.
All right. Would you like to engage with Sammy and see if he knows of past events that have transpired in his family-owned thing that he should probably know about? I would think. Would it be a super surprise?
We have chicken and biscuits. Would you like some?
Absolutely.
Should I bring a bowl of gravy too?
Yes.
Never say no to gravy.
She heads back to the bar and conversing with Sammy. The father leans in. It's a sad thing.
What is that?
Girl's mother's gone. Nora was her name. Sweet lady. An artist. But, he looks directly at Astrid since you mentioned she's interested in the more exotic, stranger things. She had an interest in the occult, as it were.
Interesting.
Nora did.
What did this interest look like?
He sighs, he looks at Olaus, looks at the two of you, looks around the room to see if anyone's actually paying any attention. Which he posits because that woman sitting by herself, you could have swore she was not just looking in your direction, but almost kind of leaning and trying to listen, and then quickly turned her head and starts sipping her drink. He turns back to you. She had some concerns.
Regarding?
Again, he glances over his shoulder and makes sure Sammy's not going to come over, or the girl, Sophia. Around the start of this year, back in January sometime, she thought, claimed she thought she saw a strange figure in the night and heard footsteps. And around the same time, she had a huge blowout with Sammy. Something about inviting actors and singers to the inn, and he detests all forms of artistry. So of course he said no. And then something happened that escalated that. I know Sammy beat on her on several occasions. Despite my attempts to get him to channel his anger in other ways. And eventually she had enough and left with a theater troupe. And now he leans in even more and whispers. Last summer, Sammy received word she died. Cholera. Died in a sick bed in Karlskrona. So now it's just the two of them. And Sophia's, I'm afraid she takes a bit too much after her mother.
In what way?
I see her. I see that the way she stares off sometimes. I can tell she has that creative mind going. Sammy, no doubt, is wanting her to continue the family business and take over this when he passes, but between us, I'm not so sure that's going to be the path she wants to take.
Well, Father, I'm just out of curiosity. Are you familiar with, at one point, the guy who's drunk and wants to arm wrestle people? He seems like a regular.
Yeah, that would be,
Two
that's
cups.
Johnny.
What's that?
That's Johnny.
Oh.
Jonathan, actually. Nedge is, Sammy's best friend.
That guy.
Likes his cups a bit much, but he's here
Yes.
pretty much every night.
And then I noticed that this one young lady here seems to be quite nervous.
Yes, I do not know her. I'm assuming she's just passing through. She wasn't much for talking, so I let her be.
Is she still covered in rain? Or sweat?
When he says that, it causes you to give her a closer look. Both of you give me a observation roll.
Get no ex. 4.
Yeah, I told you. Told you you're wasting the juice. I got 1.
You got 4?
4 successes. As I rolled them and I said, I don't care what you do this time. Thank you. I will be off for the evening in my bed.
Both of you, yes. She is somewhat pale. It's not rain. Would have dried by now. She's sweating. And seems a bit confused. When Sophia goes to refill her drink,
Who's Sophia?
The teenage girl.
Thank you.
she grabs her wrist.
I begin to
I
rise.
did not want beer. I wanted Activa. I'm sorry, but previously I want Activa. I'm sorry. I'll get it. You were recognizing this, all of it combined, as the signs of an opium addict.
Okay. I was going to lean in towards Astrid as I saw that outburst and ask if she thought that might be a condition of health, but as soon as I see the outburst and all that, I will then whisper to Astrid that we have someone who is an opium addict that has not had their fill in quite some time. It can lead to, it can lead to someone being quite dangerous.
As you are whispering that to her, she has turned and her eyes go a bit wide. She quickly, even though Sophia's bringing the Activa right to her. She gets up, just kind of raises her hand and goes upstairs.
It's fine. We'll pay for it.
What is Activa? Is that the tea?
No, it is a, I don't want to say vodka.
Oh.
It's a local liquor.
Oh. Beer?
You've got basically,
I'll take the beer.
Bring that on over.
you've got your liquor makers, which you're expected to buy from them, but you've still got people who will illegally make their own kind of moonshine kind of stuff.
Bathtub.
Gotcha.
Mooch.
Which is why you'll have speakeasies, because you'll have people who make their own, and instead of having buy or having you purchase the official whatever, they've got their own thing. Or in places like this, they're gonna probably make their own anyway, unless they want to have it delivered.
As she
So
delivers
she brings it over.
Sophia, how long has that woman been staying here?
Oh, she just arrived perhaps an hour before you did.
Did she, obviously she has a room?
Mhm.
Would be prying if I asked what her name is? As I lay out some Norwegian currency, whether it's coin or papers. Huh? Swiss, sorry.
Swedish.
Lisa?
Oh,
Lisa Finkel. Yes, Finkel.
cool. Thank you.
Does that name ring any bells to me?
She come in on a coach?
Yes.
Did you happen to catch where she was coming from?
She wasn't one for talking. She's a bit short.
I need to speak for your father, so well, hoist myself up. Definitely put a little extra into it. Oh, this rain in my bones. Oh, that bed will be so comfortable. Are there out of the game when we're in the room? Is there a fireplace in the room? Is there a stove? Is there
Fireplace.
a thing? Excellent. Do you have a bed warmer?
I'm sorry?
Like a bed warmer, hot coals and pan.
Oh, no, I'm afraid not.
No. All right. Would you mind stoking the fire in room, and I'll hold up my key.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Here's your Swedish money.
Oh, Louse. Hey, girl. There's shadow play going to be happening here? She stops. Yes! Yes! Is that why you're here?
We've heard things, but we weren't sure when.
I produced the.
There's no exact date.
Don't say anything. She glances back at Sammy. Don't mention it to my father. But come upstairs, the attic. When you're done here.
Okay.
So with that, after she's brought your food to you, you see her kind of look around. She makes sure that
Johnny's the only one. Johnny and Father are the only ones down here, right? Unless that more people have come in.
Sven is the waiter. She makes sure that Sven has everything under control, and she quickly runs upstairs.
Okay. Well, in a minute or two later, are we going to follow?
So Olas, you had this experience and this nightmare without seeing whatever the shadow.
Oh yeah, this is new.
Okay.
That's a concern. If it starts bringing people in, if you know this sort of thing like I do, that could just exacerbate the situation. It'll grow stronger and bad things could happen.
Okay. Yes, I could see where if it is feeding upon people's nightmares or any other energy that could be an issue.
I would like a couple of minutes before I go upstairs in my room.
The father is still sitting here and has heard all this.
Of course. You want to... Yes, of course I am. understand the rain, your hair.
So, like Nora, the three of you have an interest as well.
Yes.
Our interest may vary from Nora's. She seems to be someone who is curious, and we are people who are serious. Serious about making sure that the common person doesn't run afoul of evil spirits.
Glances back at Sammy. I'll tell you this. In the past 9-10 months, this place, what you see, use gestures to some of the buckets catching water, the various drips, the rotted boards. This happened.
This was in finer repair than this before all of that?
Very much so. You get Sammy talking about it, he'll go on and on about how he doesn't understand how all his work to try and upkeep this place comes to naught because it just... There are those around here who think the Witch Cat Inn is accursed.
And what are your thoughts on that?
I've seen it. It could just be dereliction. But when you combine that with the fact Nora had her suspicions around 9-10 months ago, there are a lot of things that coincide. I don't want to put fear of the unknown in anyone's mind, so...
You have no fear of that happening.
But I've kept you long enough. It seems as though you have things to do. I do believe I'll be retiring to my room. He gets up.
Do you stay here? Is this your home?
No.
Oh.
As I said, I've been a guest here numerous times. I like to make sure Sammy and Sophia are doing okay.
Do you get nightmares when you stay here?
Unsettling dreams, yes.
What do they consist of?
Just bad potatoes, perhaps. Nothing to worry about. Have a good evening.
Classic deflection. Say out loud.
He had started to walk away and stops when you say that, but he doesn't turn around and then continues back up the steps.
What was my general impression of the father? Because out of everybody in here, he seemed to be not only inquisitive, but talkative and like right up on us. And did I get a sense of sincerity from him? Did I get a snake oil salesman kind of a feel from him?
No,
what is my gut instinct?
Seems sincere, and it is not unusual for a man of the cloth in an area like this when strangers appear to introduce himself and just see who they are and if perhaps their souls might need saved.
Too late.
I wish to go up to my room alone before going to the attic.
On your way to the room, you didn't really notice it at the time, the first time you came up, but initially, pretty much right 5 feet in front of your door, in the ceiling, you see the trap door to the attic. There's a ladder going down now. You can hear some shuffling coming from up there. What are you doing in your room?
I went to look since Ola said that he was in that room when he saw the figure. I just went to search it, investigate, see if I see any, like he was looking for earlier, sigils or something left behind.
Give me an investigation roll.
Dun, dun, dun.
Are you also attempting your new talent?
If I get more successes, yes. I didn't get a success though.
It looks as though they've cleaned it fairly well. You're not seeing anything of the weird or unnatural yet.
Okay. Alright, well, after a couple minutes, I feel like I've done my best searching wise. I'll exit, wait for him.
I'll come out of my room after a minute or two, and I'll have my smoking jacket on, and my silk pajama bottoms, my slippers.
I didn't realize this was a PJ
I'll get my little
event.
my fez on, and my nightcap flask.
Just before you got all the way upstairs to do
My
all of
evening
that.
wear.
Because you were kind of putting on the air.
Oh yes.
So you were about 3 steps up when suddenly you heard a crash from downstairs. Sound like, and you turned expecting to see a broken stein with beer all over the ground, which you did. But more importantly, you saw Sven, the waiter, who had dropped said beer, slumped over a chair. You saw Johnny out on his table. Sammy is looking around completely in shock at what the hell's going on. It would appear as though only yourself, Olaus, and Sammy, of those that are down here, are awake.
Miss Ludstrom!
I exit my room.
Then go clatter back down the stairs, my 3 steps, to make eye contact with Olaus, looking
He's
about.
gotten up, adjust his hat. This didn't happen before. And also, all of the lanterns and candles in here seem to dim somewhat, and the color of the flame becomes blue.
Do we
And
have...
you're, despite even the fireplace fires a bluish hue and is not as bright, so the entire room is now darker. Same thing for upstairs. The lanterns, the light flame goes blue, and everything becomes a bit darker, and the temperature, you're guessing, goes down at least 5 degrees. Sammy looks to you and Olaus. What's happening?
I'll go over to...
And then you see him he says that, and you know that look someone gets when they kind of get an idea? That just pause of, oh shit. He looks to the door, and you can still hear the storm raging outside. The wind coming through a lot of the cracks in here almost sound like whispers. No, Norn, no. He hops the bar and goes outside. Doesn't even bother closing the door. It's now due to the wind, so you hear the rush of rain as you come downstairs and see Johnny is apparently asleep. The waiter, Sven, is also? Or is he passed out? What?
I will hobble to the door and close it, secure it.
And Sammy just ran out the door.
You're locking him out?
No, but I mean, he just left it open in the middle
Okay.
of the storm, so I'm going to just shut it so that's latched, but not
I'll
locked him
go
out.
check the pulse of the people sleeping.
It would appear they are indeed sleeping. They're alive, but smack him on the face, nothing. It's not a natural slumber.
They're not waking up.
You see Olaus reach into his jacket and pull a revolver out. I'm gonna go check the guy in the kitchen. See him push that curtain aside. Oh God!
Oh, he's really burnt now.
Oh no.
You might want to go check on the other with the bandages.
You can hear a clatter and a thud back there. Olaus rushes to the doorway. Either of you know any medicine? This guy apparently fell asleep, his face on the freaking fryer.
Miss Lundstrom has some skills in this area. I've seen a thing or two. Apply pressure.
1.
You're using your bandages, wrapping him up. Thankfully, only a portion of his face when he
I got acidated.
conked out.
Ouch.
He's not going to look pretty when it all heals, though. So you bind him up and lay him on the floor, maybe.
Yeah, out of
So this is the
harm's
third
way.
victim that we know of, and we don't know
We
about
need to check her.
the girl.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know about the opium addict,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm curious as to how many characters are in Sophia's play now, or whatever she's doing up there. But when you're comfortable, let's take my my nightcap flask, take a big swig, offer that to Astrid. Yep, time to go to work. It's the only job I know where.
So you're headed upstairs?
Yep. Oh look, it's a rickety ladder into an attic.
Yeah, you get upstairs. As I told her, same thing. The lanterns that are hanging up here, the flame is blue, and everything is far darker.
We should have bought the tinderbox.
But there is also, you can see flickering blue light from up in the attic.
Sophia, we're coming up to see what you're doing.
Excellent!
Can't wait. I'll go first.
Really hope I'm going to shoot this kid.
Should I bring the crossbow? Should I go over and get the crossbow?
No,
Okay.
not this time.
All right.
The three of you, make your way up this ladder into the attic. There are a number of chests and boxes and some old clothes that all seem to be pushed off to one end. And the other end, you can see she has lanterns lit all over the place. There's a table with the various apparatus for a shadow play. Huh. Sophia is about, as I said, 16, maybe. I mean, it's not unheard of, I guess, but the amount of sophistication of this setup is pretty impressive. It's not just your typical paper figures on sticks with some light. There's some clockwork stuff. You can see a crank on the side of the table she is at that will operate all of this. That's fairly impressive. You can see everything is connected to rails, clockwork mechanisms. Please, have a seat, have a seat.
Before we begin, I think we can say on our behalf that we're very excited about what we're about to see. But first, please, if you wouldn't mind, we have several questions about this whole thing before we begin. Some pre-show theater, if you don't mind.
What do you mean?
Well, one, what is the name of your play?
Name of my play is The Dance of Dreams.
Dance of Dreams. And what was your inspiration?
It all came to me in a dream.
It did. Excellent. And where did all this equipment come from?
I would ask people if they could help provide some of it. I whittled some of it. And honestly, some of it just... It wouldn't be here one night. And the next day I would come up, or 2 days later, and it was just there. Isn't it wonderful?
It is exciting. I am thoroughly impressed with what I see before me. It seems to be the work of an entire professional troupe, not just one young woman doing this in her spare time. I am impressed.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, could we approach and take a look at some of the apparatus before you begin?
After. I don't want to ruin the illusion.
Well, I understand, but we are, connoisseurs of this sort of thing. We come from Uppsala. It's a fairly large city, and so we've seen a couple of these before. But I would much appreciate, before it begins, to have a chance to peruse some of your equipment and see how it compares to the other professional troops that we have dealt with in the past when we've marketed them to a bit larger theaters.
Oh.
When we said that we traveled around to see some of the smaller areas of this fine country, we're on the lookout for certain things. And some of those certain things are talent. And that talent that we find growing and nurturing in these small, out-of-the-way places where the artist will rarely ever have a chance of seeing a full audience in front of a beautiful theater. Well, one of the things that we do is to bring them forward into large cities, performance areas, halls, private performances for, the wealthy. And what I'm seeing here right now is something that may require representation.
When he starts in on his speech, I get my writer's pad out and I start looking like I'm writing about all of this stuff just to back him up, be like, the devices are blah, 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 blah.
So before we begin,
Of course.
thank you. And yes, now it's time to take a really good look at things and see if, again, there's any, crazy sigils, runes, soul entrapped gems, the sort of thing that we should be on the lookout for.
I'm sketching and writing and trying to map out everything that I see.
This is the first actual shadow play you've ever actually seen, but
Hopefully it talked a good game.
you're not seeing any... There are no telltale signs of any sort of supernatural or unnatural means.
No blood vials or...
No, nothing at all of that sort. But as I said, it is impressive because after the spiel you just gave, that is Uppsala. This should be in Uppsala. You would fully expect this sort of setup to be there, not in the attic of the Witch Cat Inn at the Tea Road before you head to one of two very, very small nowhere villages. Because you've got your paper figures on sticks, you've got your lanterns and cloth screens that can be replaced, and it's all connected on rails and clockwork. So just rudimentary glance, you can see if she starts cranking this, the figures will move, do their own thing. That's for a single individual who, where did she learn to make all of this?
She even said some of it just appeared overnight. So, this seems odd. With that said, is there any pre-show ritual that you do? Is there a tongue exercise where you have to say the quick brown fox jumped over as you do the narration? Do you get yourself in a state of mind to do this? Do you limber fingers up?
Oh no, this is... You'll be the first.
Okay.
Please sit.
I sit excitedly.
Are there any violins during this performance?
Sadly, there is no instrumentation.
Oh, good. Yes, but I really hate violins, so... I take my seat with all the trepidation in the world. Oh, here we go. This is where my soul is sucked out of my body. This was the mistake I made.
I'm assuming the two of you are sitting side by side.
Yes.
Olaus is kind of like behind and between the two of you, but you can glance back. You can see he has his revolver on his lap, but his other hand is covering it. And with that, Sophia goes around. It's nervous.
We're excited for you, Sophia.
Okay. She lights the various lanterns.
And what color are they?
Blue. And not, again,
Do we know what causes blue?
they're not giving off as much light as
Sure.
they should. With another deep breath, you put your hand on the crank and begins to crank. And then she begins her tale. A young man wanders through Europe, seeing things few people are fortunate enough to witness. And you can see the little figure is moving like it's walking, and then there are like mountains and clouds behind it that are also moving in the opposite direction to give a sense of it's moving, walking. He dances with queens and visits Versailles and the Palais Royal. There, people perform his plays and praise his name, and life dances along like a dream. But the People's Revolution sweeps the land with grenades and fire. Her voice changes a bit, so you kind of glance. At first, you were very enraptured in all this. It's all very fascinating. But now you kind of look at her a bit, and you can see her face will kind of become slack. Her eyes are just staring to nothingness. And it's almost as though, as she continues, her body is the only thing active, is that arm moving that crane. Grenades and fire, and those who were playing and singing up dead by the side of the road. The young man flees the song and the guillotine. Our hero returns home to a city in the north. He walks through its gates without shoes, poor and mute. The house where he was born is burnt to ashes, and his family is missing. He kneels by the side of the road, begging for coin, and no one knows that his name was once sung in the palaces of Europe. Suddenly, he sees things no one else does. Creatures creeping, flying, and crawling as the invisibles reveal themselves to him. When he points them out to others, he is mocked and beaten. A man picks him up from the street and has him bathed and clothed. The man's name is Albert, and his mansion is a place of love and song. Our young hero performs his plays and sings to him for days and nights, and they eat fruit and drink wine. Albert introduces his friends. In the young man's dreams, they are all dancing together. But the dream is a lie. Her voice has started to lower in octaves. It almost sounds like it's being spoken out of a hole somewhere. It was you. You brought me here. You asked me to sit down and talk. We spoke of the future of the world, of your feared parliament. I have the right to refuse. You said so and smiled. and then you butchered me like a pig one hangs from the ceiling. You buried my body in unholy ground without priest or consecration. Now, dreams are all I have left. I gaze out over the audience at the Palais Royal. I dance with a princess. I eat cake. I look up into your eyes, Albert, and I let you take my dirty hand. You summon me to Piri's Inn. You make me a villainous proposition, and I decline. You cut me up. I scream, not wanting to die. At last, you are back. Welcome. And right then, out of the Shadow Theater, a full humanoid form of a desiccated corpse erupts. The scent of death and decay hits you. I need both of you to give me a fear check. That is either a logic or an empathy roll, your choice. The difficulty is 2.
Sorry about your luck.
I got one.
I got 1. Together, we did all right. Separate, we failed. It would have been nice to have made one for once.
So, difficulty was 2, you each got 1. That means each of you suffer 1 mental condition. I can tell you it's going to be freezing. Just sat there frozen in fear. This thing erupts right at you and through you. And then it's gone. I'm not going to make you roll for how long it lasts. I'm not sure if it's minutes or mere moments. But finally you're able to kind of shake it off. You glance and you can see apparently Olaus suffered the same fate. He's got a white knuckle grip on that gun, but he's just sitting there, looking around. What the hell?
Offer him my flask.
Damn right.
Sophia? Sophia, dear.
She, at first, was just like a marionette. Just strings have been cut, and then finally, much like the three of you, starts snapping out of it, and then falls to her knees and just bursts into tears.
I will approach her.
What was that? What happened? Why?
How do you feel?
Scared?
That's a good feeling.
Is that what Mama saw?
Very well could have been.
Did your mama use this?
No. But she was curious. Papa locked her room and no one's gone in since she left.
Which room is that?
The larger one by the stairs.
All right. You have a key?
No.
That might not be necessary anyway. Why don't you come with us?
What do we do?
Well,
We're gonna go check out that room.
You hear it. Damn right. Okay, she's gripping on to you.
Awkwardly attempt to console.
now.
Mama and I both love art. And the occult. Don't tell the father.
Well, I think we found out. What was your mother's art form? You obviously like puppets and shadow plays. What was she into? Paintings?
She pauses for a second. There were many things, paintings, but I think the reason Papa hates art so much is because she cheated on him with an actor before they got married. She told me. But she was collecting all kinds of information. She said she had her little notes about this place. It might be in the room.
Well, let's go find out.
As you're heading, each of you one by one, down the ladder. I've seen that thing walking around sometimes.
The Dark Shadow Man?
Like Mama said, it didn't start until the beginning of the year.
What changed the beginning of the year?
I don't know. But I've been having strange dreams. And in the dreams, I'm always a man? And the dreams are always stories out of my play. She leads you to that room in the corner. You can see the steps leading down to the first floor. Excuse me. This is, from the look of it, going to be a bit larger of a room. It is locked.
Luckily, we brought lockpicks for that.
It's all you.
Then make that stealth roll.
Stealth, you say?
And don't forget the bonus lockpicks give you.
Huh. What was the lockpicks give us?
No, I think it's a 2. It's either a 2 or a 3.
I want to say probably a 2.
Because everything I bought, whatever it cost, was the bonus again.
Bonus plus 1.
Never mind, it cost 2.
That, and then stealth is based on that, which really isn't that great.
You're doing better at me today, so.
Nothing!
You get it. Finally. But you do suffer an angry condition because
That's just real life. That
is the real world.
That's not role playing anymore. It's so frustrating.
but you get it open. Everything in here is coated in dust. The chest of drawers. The bed hasn't been slept in, obviously, in probably 9-10 months. I need both of you to make observation rolls. Do not forget your negatives due to your conditions.
So I just,
-2?
I'm at -1.
Is that angry, or is that just a one time?
I got a 1.
Hey, I got 1!
Huh.
Yay!
Well, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I'm going to my dice.
On the crossbow.
We both got 1.
1. Banner day.
Indeed. There is a bookcase in here. A number of books with a number of occult titles.
Quite the library. for this little backwoods area.
Old clothes. One of the things you discovered appears to be a journal.
Oh, those are always good. Big fan, big fan.
I'd also like to take a peek at the occult titles. See if I recognize anything.
A lot of them appear to have to do with ghosts and spirits. So, a few of them are in your library at the castle. Excellent.
Astrid will start stretching a little bit after she's at the bookcase looking at all of the different titles.
Sophia has gone off and just kind of tracing her fingers along some of this because she's not been in this room in months. The memories, you're guessing, are probably quite strong for her. She's touching the bed, just kind of looking around at everything for the first time in months. Olaus is standing by the doorway, just kind of... You're not sure if he's afraid to fully step in or if he's just pulling guard duty just in case. What are you doing?
I am looking over desks or anything of that nature to see if there's any recent writings, or well, recent from her, things of that nature. See if anything sticks out of the ordinary.
Nothing's sticking out of the ordinary per se.
Okay. See if there's any way in or out of this room besides this door that we went through as well.
There's a window here.
Okay.
It looks out to that fenced area you noticed when you first arrived. Looks like you can't see anything at first, and then there's a lightning strike, and you can see some kind of... It looks like it might have been a conservatory at one time, but it's just collapsed out there.
Need to use their structure points better.
Astrid will clutch one of the books randomly that she took off of the shelf, and this low, guttural growl will emit from her. And
Turn
her
from
eyes
the window slowly to look at this.
roll on the back of her head so you can only see the whites of her eyes. She'll turn to you and just let out a gut-wrenching scream and chuck the book at you as hard as she can.
I will duck.
Give me a ranged weapon roll.
Oh. None.
The book flies and smacks against the wall hard. And you can see she's...
You will not leave this inn alive. But it's not her voice.
Miss Lundstrom? No, I believe Miss Lundstrom is checked out. It's the first I've seen of this.
Ah, shit. He flips the gun around, so he's got more of the club. You want me to brain her?
Well, no, not particularly.
Well, she starts crawling backwards or on
How
walking
big are
on
you-
walls.
She'll just start speaking in languages that you've never heard her speaking before.
Do I know these languages?
It's like a mixture of Latin and just anything from her writings and from
Oh.
what she's been
Yes.
researching. She'll
Oh.
say,
Mr. Renberg, I would love to go to the creepy inn where they're going to do a play about murder and death and horror. I love that sort of thing. I don't really think we should go, Astrid. It doesn't sound that interesting.
What the?
to
Can
me.
you shut her up?
There'll
That's creepy as hell.
There'll be names start to come. She'll say Britta. She'll say Victor. Just
Gotcha.
And during all of that, amongst the names and everything else being uttered, one thing really gets your attention.
Oh.
Is the or partial sentence, all because of your Parliament of Owls.
Those fucking owls. They're everywhere.
And then you see her kind of basically drop to her knees. She's breathing heavily, like maybe she, almost as though maybe someone had put pressure on her chest so she couldn't breathe, and now finally at long last she can.
But, waddle over with my cane, and now.
There.
Stiff upper lip and all that.
Do I remember anything I said? Or?
Yes, but it was not you saying it.
Okay.
Using my cane, put it underneath her chin and slowly raise it up a little bit so I can see her face. And see if her eyes are still rolled back, if there's any sense of her in there, or if this is a feral beast.
This is her. Her eyes are clear. This is her.
It'll happen.
But you feel as though an ice cold. If your heart is frozen, it's now suddenly
clutching my chest.
Gone, and heat is starting to go back into your body again.
I believe that you were a vessel for some other entity.
And both of you give me a learning test, please.
Two!
Yay!
Both of you, after you looking at some of the books, again, both of you, looking at some of the books she has in her library, the things that she was researching, what you just experienced, this has to be the work of a revenant. A haunted spirit that is filled with hate against someone or someones that has wronged it in life. They're normally invisible, but can take shape, sometimes even physical form. In which case they have very sharp teeth and claws.
Did she possess any of those descriptors when she
did not know.
Got a little feral there?
But a revenant can draw the very life out of a person. Just with an embrace. And it can also control a person's soul. And you both know the only way to banish one of these things is to bury its remains in consecrated ground.
So we have to find the remains. Of course, we don't know where those are at. Let me help you up.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
Not great.
The book that she threw, you glance down, it's laid open, you realize was the journal
Of
Sophia's mother, Nora.
Of Nora. I'll use my walking stick to close that cover and then pick it up, put it underneath my arm, and I will offer a shoulder to Astrid. Would you like to retire to your room for a minute?
No, I'll be fine, thank you.
Offer my flask.
Big old gulp.
Got to refill that, but that Activa will do in a pinch. Note to self: add smelling salts to our list of things in our medical bag.
Olaus has flipped the gun back around.
Appreciate you not shooting me.
Yeah.
You struck the fear into him. Oh,
I tend to do that.
small little Miss Lundstrom put the fear of man Holy into the big man with his little gun.
Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking? Revenant?
Yeah.
Well, why did he even call us? Yes, we are.
Then we're probably going to need this because they can take physical form.
Well, we should just concentrate on finding the body so we can bury it.
At the church right up the street.
He looks at Sophia.
Where does one? Did the play give us any hints? Like that was a very thorough story. Is there anything from that story that we would know about from history or the stuff that we've already read? That seemed like a very significant thing.
Like, did it happen in real life type situation?
I mean, did that have anything to do with Oscar Hort's encounter with the Black One? And do we even know what that is? Well, you did. You actually looked up stuff about Oscar. He was a member of the society at one point.
One of the things that
and even Shadow Place.
Sophia mentioned in her tale when she kind of seems like she went off track
A lot of that going on. Whatever this is, it's really big into the females.
was the name Piri.
Is this Piri? Yeah, I did hear that.
And you also know all this that has been occurring thus far. Sophia, yourselves, Olaus, and Sammy were the only ones apparently that did not get put to sleep. Sammy ran out into the rain, said, "Nora, no. You haven't been necessarily quiet up here."
Sure.
He hasn't come
Nobody's come checking on
Yeah,
us.
he hasn't come running up here and say, "What the hell are you doing in this room?"
We haven't gone to search for him just yet.
Yeah.
And you've got this journal in your hand.
Well, as soon as you're ready, take your time, Lundstrom. Take your time.
I'll skim the journal.
So about time
I'll chance it again.
that this place started falling apart and her stuff started showing up was between 9 and 10 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when do we believe that Nora perished? When did that message come in? Or how
The
did it
father
work?
said
Last summer.
it was last summer.
All right, looking at where we're at now to last summer, what's that time frame? Does that match up?
What do you mean?
Is that 9 to 10 months from last summer to now?
No, right now it's October, so 9 to 10 months would have been back in January.
Just the previous summer, not... Okay. So not necessarily the same thing. So what is it that has activated this...
Given the difficulty in reading the fonts last time,
I appreciate it.
Olaus is now walking around the perimeter of the rooms, looking out the window. It's okay. So what names we got? We got the Oscar.
Yep. Harry.
Yeah, who's that?
P-Y-R-I.
We're getting to the bottom of that.
And when you say that name, that's when Sophia, she's listening, but also still just kind of enraptured with all her mother's things. She turns. That was
Your grandfather?
great-grandfather.
She knows who the dead man is. Piri writes of his guilt and feelings of remorse over a murder he committed. He killed a man named Oscar Hjort by slitting his throat. This happened during a meeting with 3 people from Uppsala. One of them was named Albert. Oscar was unwilling to cooperate, but what he meant to do I am unsure of. They buried his body somewhere in our garden. Piri says that instead of having a priest consecrate the ground, they desecrated his body with magic. He fears that he has damned the inn and condemned himself to hell.
So what has changed in the last 9 or 10 months to have woken his spirit up? Sophia, within the last year, about a year ago. What's happened? Have we rebuilt something? Has there been some project? Has there been a new garden added? Has there been a stable? What has changed about 10 months ago around this around the Witch Cat Inn?
Other than Mama seeing the ghost and people started having bad dreams, nothing. Except the inn itself just seemed to start decaying. It started falling apart. Papa was always took such great care because it's been in the family. And he's always thought that it would come down to me, so he wanted to make sure it was as good as it could be. And he said a man's reputation and his work make him who he is, so he made him mad that this place was just falling apart despite everything he did. But that's about it.
That entry I read was on February 8th. She's been writing since January 15th that she's seen this creature. She details Sammy's abuse.
But
And
nothing.
April 3rd is when she's... April 3rd, if I stay here, he'll kill me. Tonight I'm packing my things and I'm taking Piri's letters with me. I'll show them to Sophia when I come for her. Perhaps we can return to the Witch Cat one day when Sammy has died or come to his senses. Then we can go looking for ghosts together.
She doesn't mention anything that's out of the ordinary or changed either. Because, I mean, this was great-grandfather that supposedly killed this guy and buried him in the garden. So,
Well, she's been seeing the creature.
gotcha. But I'm saying that his family has lived, generations have now lived here. Great-grandfather lived here, then grandfather would have lived here. Sammy would be, what, the third? His father, well, depending on how Sophia sees it. So that would be, two generations. She's the third generation removed from the murder. And it doesn't seem like anybody was running away up until just recently.
I need you both to make observation checks, please.
The nightmares.
Are we still at the -1 from the previous thing?
Yes.
Okay. One! I'm thrilled to have it. Thank you, little die. You didn't screw me to the wall. All your
As,
buddies did.
She's reading this to you, and you're both, okay, well, what about this? What about, that makes no sense. Sophia's just kind of sitting on the bed, just looking around. Olaus looking out the window still. He's looking out the window. You,
At the observatory that's collapsed and is falling apart.
you hear footsteps out in the hall. They seem to slide somewhat.
Well, us? I'll just...
See him leave the window, go to the doorway, and
So,
he's got a grip on his gun, but he backs up into the room. Okay, what are we gonna do about this?
Lundstrom, activate superpower.
You see the father. His eyes are still
Sammy?
shut. No, the priest.
Oh,
Eyes still shut. Obviously sleep walking.
does there seem to be anything wrong with him besides the sleepwalking? I mean, no jagged wounds, bones sticking out, bloody
no wounds.
things.
But the movements are very broad and sweeping, almost like a dance.
Okay.
And you see the woman, the opium addict, right behind him. And then you see Johnny behind him.
That's
All of them, and they're all
Time to shut
coming
that
right
door.
Yeah, shut the
toward.
door.
You shut the door. And you hear him start slamming against it.
Yep, there's a lot of, were the bookcases built in?
Yes.
Damn.
Chest of drawers, movable.
There's a chest of drawers.
Move it against the door.
Yep. I'll supervise.
I'll also start, like, as I got my back, trying to brace myself
Oh shit!
up.
I get ready to smack her over the head with a cane.
No, she had dreams of being that murdered man. A man being killed, the murderer sneaking up behind him and cutting his throat with a knife. The body is buried in unconsecrated ground, and suddenly it is my body in the grave. I've been buried alive and I can't get out. All I want is revenge or peace in death. I wake up with a scream. So I think it's this body we gotta do.
I mean, I agree.
Do it.
I just still want to know if it's been buried there for 40 or 50 years, what all of a sudden has made it come back to being a problem.
Well, she wanted to do the theater. She's been trying to get theater director back, and that's what the dude liked.
Okay.
Oscar.
Port.
Yeah, he did shadow
The shadow puppets.
puppets and stuff.
And I get
Outside.
it. I just.
If you've ever heard someone talk in their sleep, outside the door, you're hearing Gotcha. Over Yilma Pieri. Coming from the voices of
Do we know if those are names of society members? Albert seems very familiar. A previous.
going through the annals and just the journals, you've seen so many names. There were Alberts. There were. Without being able to go back to Castle Gildenkreutz and actually look them up.
Okay.
Jumping up the window.
But
Well, I
they're
would prefer not
banging
to.
and banging hard, and you're starting to see the Chester doors. Door has given, and the Chester door is starting to slide outward. Olaus, hell. Breaks the window. Rain starts pouring in. Takes his sleeve and gets all the glass out. You got a better idea?
I was working on it, but I think Olaus is an American. Yeah, is there anything, an actual wedge that we could put underneath this door? Something to stop it from moving?
Not really. And now you've got all of them pushing in unison, so it's moving very quickly.
All right. As he's getting that ready, because I'm really not looking forward to that, can I use... I don't know what skill it would be to start quoting Bible psalms very loudly, but that's what I'm going to do. Is that learning, maybe? Inspiration?
I wouldn't make you roll.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start going through
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall
Bible
not
verses and trying to see if that will connect with the Father and break him out of whatever this condition might be for him.
You start spouting out Bible verses, anything that you can recall from as a lad going to
Yeah,
church.
because that's about it.
Meanwhile,
I go with Ezekiel. That's my favorite.
Sophia's backed herself into the corner. And tears are running down her face. Olaus is ripping the bedding off of the bed. All right, who's gonna go first?
How
Girl.
How far's the drop?
Second floor, so maybe 15, 20 feet.
Ouch. I already have one bad leg.
He grabs Sophia. Hold this. Do not let go until you get to the bottom. What? Oh, ah!
He's definitely an American.
The Chester drawers with a audible is shoved aside as the door is wide open. And it's very unnerving to see them slack-faced, eyes shut, and yet still somehow moving right in and coming right at you.
Okay.
To which we were going to have to go with initiative. Astrid gets a 5. Egil gets a 2. The sleeping masses get a 9.
Benny! Oh.
And good old Olaf 6 and 7. So, 2, what are you doing?
Well, with them now coming through, I'm backing up towards the window,
Rain smacking you hard.
and we're going to try to use the walking stick to trip whoever's in front and make them a hazard.
All right, give me a close combat roll.
Oh, let's see. That's a 0. Now my condition was mental, so that does not affect my physical.
Correct.
All right, so these 2 dice here we go. Does a cane give me anything?
+1.
I need it. 1 success!
1 success.
Yeah, if there's ever anything that means more than that, really, I think we're telling you that for our group, that's overpowered.
You drive the walking stick in between the father's legs as he was in front and just lever it, causing his dancing, sweeping movements loses and just kind of tumbles into himself and into the others, giving you a brief respite. Astrid, what are you doing?
Just have myself 3 Hail Marys.
You hear Olaus, "Now run!" He quickly turns to the 2 of you. Who's next?
I'll go.
Just give me a agility roll.
Just give me. Does the rope give her a +1?
She's getting a +1 because of him.
Oh, that's good. It's good. He's got those strong American shoulders.
What?
You're able to get down and hit the mud. The rain is very hard, cold. It's just a downpour. Lightning is still illuminating the distance. You can see Sophia's shivering there next to you. And as the lightning strikes, you're getting a look. You can see that down conservatory. Some bushes. Back of the house, in the far left corner, looks to be an in-ground cellar.
Is there a garden that I can see?
There's a garden around the cellar itself. Basically, you got a big mound with some things growing around it, and then a door set into that mound.
Gotcha.
Olaus turns to you. You're next.
All right. Hey, you said that was an agility roll?
Yep.
That's a 0.
You get one from him.
2. All right, here we go.
You're about to ruin your silk jammies, though.
2 6s. The cane walking stick gets put away, kind of within the sash of my evening smoking jacket, and all of a sudden the limp's gone.
He's like Yoda.
He's walking absolutely fine when nobody cares about seeing this, and is moving quite spryly all of a sudden. In fact, lowers himself down almost Mission Impossible style.
Completely.
Yep.
And as you reach bottom, glance up, there is the rapport of a gun.
Oh no.
And you can see it illuminate the entire room. You can see silhouettes of movement.
Oh, that's a shadow play I never like seeing.
And
We're gonna have to discuss this. Coming out of windows.
that's
Yes, I don't think we should do that.
that's pretty impressive.
I can feel the adrenaline.
Now let's see how well he actually does. All you see is him come straight through jumping. He rolled 2 6s.
Pretty.
So he hits with a roll and slides in the mud. And you see those forms.
Pretty sure he's from Indiana.
They all turn. And obviously, they're coming after you, just not from that route. All right, what do we do now? Stables, get out of here?
I point to the garden.
Time for some fine gardening.
Unconsecrated ground.
Great. My favorite. You get over. So again, you got it's a garden root cellar. What do you want to do? It's pouring down rain, trudging through mud. What's your move?
I think the two of us are going to have to go in the cellar because we are the characters, and the other two will have to stay up here and guard us. While, okay, Olas will stay up here and guard us. I don't even know where Sophia's at.
She's right there with you.
Gotcha.
She's not going anywhere by herself right now.
I mean, we're continuing to search. We now think that we have to find a body. We think it's the Revenant.
In the mound.
We have to another body.
You throw that root cellar door open, and as a flash of lightning strikes behind you, you can see, given the size of the mound and the door, what you see is not that size. It's a very good sized cavern. Vastly larger than you would expect. And the walls are lined with shelves of food, but they're... First you thought it was just wet from rain. Then you realize, no, those are maggots. There are maggots, bugs, rats on the floor, all over all this.
God, the chicken and gravy was really good.
And the wind kicks up hard, and you can hear a whisper on the wind. The voice is very similar to both what she had and what Sophia had toward the end of her tale. It's only snippets, but it's, Albert, my love. My right to decline. You were everything to me. You let Peter kill me. I will catch ya, Ilma. I've seen things you could never. My name was Danse in Paris. Parliament of What are you doing?
Finding a body. Searching
Okay.
for it.
As you get down there, you suddenly see you're not alone down there. There's a young man, well dressed. He, expensive clothes. His eyes glitter with what you could only say would be affection or love as he looks at you. And then looks to the side, and you see his throat just explode with blood. And he falls.
These people are great people.
And the body decays in an instant right in front of you, and it's now just a pile of maggots. I need you to both make another fear check. Difficulty is only one this time,
Why did they do this to him?
since you just saw Oscar die.
All right, and this is still -1.
Yes.
What are the ways to heal that?
Right now, not.
All right, so
I got one.
I got one.
Both passed.
Yay!
But given where that spectral body fell, where the maggots were and no longer are, good guess, that could be your spot.
All right. Is there any tool for digging that we can see in this
There are
area?
some trowels, there is a shovel,
Yep, grab it.
2x4s.
Yep.
Grab her a trowel, grab myself a shovel.
You hear the gun fire again up above. Stay back! Go! Go, 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 go! And you see Sophia almost stumble down the steps like he shoved her, and then the door shuts.
Wow.
You dig, and finally, sure enough, you find a form that is curled up upon
Sophia?
itself.
Is there a sack? A burlap sack?
Yes.
Find it, please. Thank you so much.
And
You're
the
being
clothes
incredibly
are
brave.
the same as you saw in that spectral form, only quite aged.
I will say a prayer over his body, but I have zero faith.
She brings a couple of sacks over and she doesn't vomit,
Sorry, dear girl. I am sorry.
You can turn away now.
which she does.
I will help place the remains in the bag.
Shove them, take some bending. Shove them into the bag, the sack. Now what?
Well, unfortunately, now we have to... Okay, we know we should bury it in consecrated ground.
Yes.
Is there any way for us to consecrate some ground without us having to go all the way to the
You
church?
two? No.
No, of course not. All right, so...
If we can wake the father, can the father consecrate?
If you could,
Well, so
given what
far-
you've seen thus far.
Yeah, I've tried. And that's the only thing we know. Like setting it on fire, salting it, all this stuff that a Winchester boy would do, that stuff doesn't seem to work, from our knowledge.
I mean, setting fire works.
Alrighty. Well, it's all in burlap. Burlap burns pretty good.
Otherwise, you've got a lengthy run through heavy
Not
rain
gonna make that.
to the church.
So, yep, gonna...
Let's do the fire route.
What else is down here? I mean, we got the pit. We've already dug that. It's in burlap.
Other than just
Any of that alcohol, the...
shelves with
I mean, the shelves are made of wood, probably.
ruined,
So
yes, with ruined vegetables and the like down here.
I don't think that'll burn
Maggots
so well.
and rats everywhere.
But, yep, looking around for accelerant, whatever we can use to speed this process up.
The rest of your flask.
Yep.
There is some of
Look around for, see if their moonshine
their
stills
homemade
down here somewhere.
Activa is down here. Aquava, whatever it is, it's down here.
Sure. Their potato vodka or whatever.
Yes.
Got it. Grab a barrel or a pail or whatever of that.
The door flies open and forms start stumbling down as you're seeing the opium addict woman first, the father behind her, Johnny behind. him.
Gotcha.
Get that fire started, I'll rush the opium addict.
You gonna rush her?
Yeah. Try to tackle her to the ground.
You with your 3 or her with her 9.
Ah.
Bennies!
So your go. Give me a close combat roll. Or actually, it'd be a force roll. It's just no weapons.
No.
You had the power of surprise on your side, though.
I did.
Takes a swing.
I'll shout to Sophia to help him burn it,
Okay.
if I can.
This addict, again, the movements are not like zombie-like. It's almost like they're in some sort of a dance, and yet still
Oh.
moving forward.
Of dreams?
Perhaps.
Mm.
So when she takes a hard swing at you, you're able to duck, and the whole body kind of twirls, and that's what she does. As you did.
Just give her a harsh review. That'll shut her down. Their performance was wooden and stilted.
Sophia's got as much of the Activa as she can, pouring it over the body, putting on bits of root that are down here left dried,
I'm helping as best I can.
and then just a matter of you're gonna got a match.
Yes. Yes, I would. I smoke a pipe all the time, so yes.
And once more, because now you've got
Woohoo!
2 of them on you. You got a 4, father and the other addict got an 8. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna keep trying to keep them back.
Yeah, because you can tell they're not really, it doesn't seem like they're concerned with you. It's not as though they're attacking you. They're trying to get past you.
So you said they're doing like dancerly movements. I'm gonna try to dance with them, like spin them around to go back the other way, just like stop them from.
You're doing the forbidden dance.
Give me that force roll.
Nope.
Dun, dun. You want to push it?
Yes.
Push it good.
That gives me.
Just let you re-roll.
Okay.
But if you fail again, you will suffer a condition.
No.
If we added them together, we would have got a 6.
That is true.
So it'll be a physical condition, or actually your choice on this one. Physical or mental.
I will do mental and be angry.
That makes sense. And then they're coming after you. And I got 1.
Boo!
You've only done a slow action by your attack. If you want to make another force roll to try and parry, you can.
Parry.
In that case, you suffer a physical condition as the father connects hard with a forearm to your nose. Pow!
I'll take a batter.
So what, you got 2 physical and 1 mental?
Oh,
now?
nope, sorry, that was... I got 1 physical, 2 mental.
I'm not gonna make a roll. See if you can get a flame. I've seen how you roll.
It's good.
Ignite the matches. Probably toss the whole thing, right?
No.
Just
No.
one?
No, I need a flame. I need once we get a flame going, I need like a 2x4 or something. I need a flaming 2x4 to smash people over the head with.
I see.
So I will set it on fire. I think we've soaked it in enough stuff, and so I will, ignite it and then turn around to go help Astrid. Keep it burning, girl. Keep it burning.
She's putting more Activa on and throwing whatever she can to keep it going. The flame is an eerie blue. Goes to the top of the root cellar. And Astrid gets 9.
Oh, no.
You get a 7.
Oh.
They got a 10.
And you want to be lower.
Yes.
Okay.
So 7, what are you doing?
I
With your flaming 2x4.
am having a bunch of Activa in my mouth. Going to do a Gene Simmons into whoever's the closest.
Give me a ranged combat roll.
Woohoo!
And we'll give you a +1 for the spray effect.
Boom! Nothing. I'm gonna push it. Boom! 1 success and 3 5s. Hey, to the Free League people, your 6s, that's some bullshit. I'm over it. There's some other game that uses 5s and 6s. We're gonna go play that game.
If you recall, we did not have this problem with Walking Dead.
Which one is that? Is that 6s only 2?
It's the same system.
Okay.
It's Free League.
What's the system that has 5? There's something that has 5s and 6s.
Wasn't that your,
Is that the Girl Scout game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I just think you need new dice.
It's just, I mean.
Oh, yeah, I'm bringing all my
we're-
D6s.
We're just like at this
That's
point. Whew, all right, so I got 1 success. And now, because I did that, do I still have to take the condition? Or you only take the condition if you fail
If you fail, you take the condition.
Okay.
You did not fail.
I'll make sure I'm pretty close to Astrid when this goes down so that she is in the effect of back the hell up.
And it ignites. And you see they don't wake up still, but they burn a bit, and that's enough to back them up toward the steps. And then you hear a scream, a male guttural scream from behind you. The flame back there extinguishes. On them, it's still going a bit, but their eyes open up.
What
and
color is the flame now?
It is now your typical yellow-orange.
Okay.
They wake up and on fire. So it goes from silence, just them doing their movements, to Matter of fact, the father turns and runs and smacks his head on a 2x4 support and just, he's out. The addict sees, she's patting herself off, sees you. I knew it. It looks as though she never even got into her nightclothes, so she's still wearing the exact same thing she had on downstairs.
Okay.
In, and you see her reach into a pocket into her skirts and pull out a revolver. I knew it!
Oh, this is bad.
Astrid, what are you doing? Because she got a 10 and you have a 9.
It's a revolver?
Yep.
It's a classic struggle.
Yeah, I'll try to rush her, like knock her to the ground.
Give me that force roll.
You got this, girl. Power.
One die?
Because I took a
Oh,
physical.
right.
You can do it. Does that help?
Nope.
Astrid goes rushing forward to try and get her, and she just... She is always, from the very beginning, in her mind, she sees you whispering to Astrid, talking about her, spying on her.
She wasn't wrong.
So she lets go with... You, a lantern, unlit, back in the back, shatters.
As I matrixed out of the way when nobody saw it.
Yes.
There you go.
Wait, we're not talking about this agility thing.
Astrid gets a 1.
Yay!
You get a 2.
Woo!
They get a 5. As Johnny is now... What the hell? He goes running out.
Yeah, it turns out it's raining outside. That'll help with that.
But this lady is still dead set.
Sure.
You're against her. You're all against her. What are you doing,
Magic.
Astrid?
Am I behind her? Where am I?
More beside, but you're on the ground. You are not her concern at the moment. He is.
Can I try to grapple her?
Same roll.
Oh.
You try and talk her down. Manipulation roll.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Of course, you've got those mental conditions too.
Yeah.
That'd be a -2.
So it's only 5. I got 2 successes.
What are you saying?
We are not your enemy. We are here to bury one who was crossed a long, long time ago.
What?
We are not your enemies.
He's been watching me. You've been spying on me. Both of you have been spying. I know it. You're after me. You know what I've got.
I don't know what you have. We were talking about you because I found you rather fetching.
Wait, really?
Yes.
But you're a catch. You're at like an Uppsala 6.
I know that's helping.
Luckily, you're not an Uppsala. So here you're like a 9.
She lowers the pistol. What the hell just happened?
There was a strange occurrence here, but it is no longer a threat.
She's seeing the bones still smoldering. Sophia, cowering, afraid she's gonna die by gunshot. She puts the gun back in the pocket. I'm leaving in the morning. She stumbles back up the steps. What are you guys doing?
Take the last drops of what was in the flask.
I go to the shelf and grab one of the sidecars and just start.
Get out of the way, rat!
Sophia, this is a horrible, disgusting habit. Don't take it up.
Yeah, no.
Ghost hunting and or drinking.
Yeah.
Coping. It's bad. It's very bad. Let's go see if we can find your father.
Yeah.
Is the father okay? The priest, the pastor?
He's knocked out. But
Okay.
yes.
We'll put him out of fire.
The rain started pouring in anyway. That pretty much did the job. He's got a huge knot on his head. Once you get up and out, you can see Sven, the waiter, is out cold. He too has a huge knot right about here on his head. And you can see Olaus, his right leg at the knee is not quite right. And you can see a large 2x4 next to him. Son of a bitch, he's a 2x4. Thought they were sleepwalking. I'm supposed to use 2x4 to sleepwalk.
That's just wrong.
Look at him shoot his ass.
It's like when you just kick someone in the balls. It's just wrong.
I take it you did what had to be done?
Things have been done. I think it's going to take hold. As all the flames that we can see about us are now normal. The weather's 5 degrees warmer. Let's get you inside, buddy.
You get back inside the inn. Again, things are normal.
We should probably get the unconscious people back in.
All right.
Pull the unconscious back inside so they're not in the rain. You're not seeing Sammy anywhere inside the inn. But there is the stables. And you haven't checked all the rooms upstairs.
We heard him say Nora when he ran out, not again.
Yeah, that's really.
So, I mean, honestly, that's back burner for me. Gonna check on Olaf's leg. We have a thing of bandages. So I say we take the time to boil some water and do whatever we can to do to help him.
Take the time to use my memento to try to
Yes.
get myself right.
Yes, you essentially ended any dangers, so conditions gone after about a half hour. Just breathing, relaxing.
All of them are just.
Yeah.
Drinking.
Doing whatever you have to do. Journaling.
Sure. No, I got a
But
little
throughout all
pocket
that
watch
time,
with
you're still.
picture of my cat in it.
Everyone's accounted for except for Sammy. And then at this point, Sophia's gone upstairs, checked his room. Dad's not here.
He's not. We saw him run out when this all occurred. Screamed something about your mother and then ran out the door. As soon as we can help everyone, we'll go look for him.
I want to go check the stables.
Well,
I'll go with you.
say,
Just wait a half an hour. And I'll go with you.
the walking stick comes out. And I, like, Hooker, nope, not by yourself. No, we're not doing that.
Once you're feeling a bit better, who's all going with her?
I am.
Yeah, of course.
Two of you head out. It's off to the right.
I'm gonna go upstairs, get the crossbow, put it on my back, and go with it.
What's that for?
Hunting. I got attacked by a bear once. If I'm outside, I'm gonna have it with me.
Okay. You head out into the rain again. The wind is so harsh, rain's almost going sideways. But you do see the doors to the barn, the stables, are open slightly. And once you get in, it's nice just to be out of the rain. She goes over and lights the lantern. You catch it first, but it's only a split second before she does. The shadow that's moving on the ground, that's slightly swaying.
Oh,
And you can see he has hung himself from the rafters, his body just swaying back and forth. And that's when she lets out her scream.
It's bitter. Is the flame in the lantern blue?
So we will cut the scene here. Start a new scene. You're back in Castle Gildenkreutz. Olaus is sitting in the library with you. You know, I like to think of myself as a capable man. I mean, I've done well enough these years, but at least in my opinion, I think we made a formidable team. I don't know if I'm a society material, but if you should ever find yourselves in need, feel free to call upon me.
We'll do that. How much time did you spend in the Americas?
Enough.
It shows. Your assistance was crucial to the outcome.
Yes.
Would have been a lot worse. I still don't know though what transpired to reactivate this creature after all this time.
I do have one question for you. Any idea what the Parliament of Owls is?
Is that like a fraternal society?
That's what I was wondering, but if it is, I've not heard of it.
No, I'm not aware of it. Have you? In your
No, I need to research it. It's on my list of things to further delve into.
I'm just concerned. I hope that it's not some sort of Vaesen that we're unaware of that's bigger and badder than what we just had to face. But, again, you need me. You know where to find me. Thank you for the drink.
stop by at your leisure.
I'll do that. As he steps out, gives Algot a hard pat on the back. Frisk! Sir? More tea?
Please.
Yes.
And with that, we're calling this case closed.